The Twins sweep the Royals, this time behind a pretty good pitching performance from the bullpen. Got a little hairy at the end. Carlos Correa hit a home run. Nick Gordon hit a home run. And the Twins sweep the Royals. They're staying in this thing. Let's break it down on tonight's Locked On Twins postcast.
You are Locked On Twins postcast, part of Locked On Sports Minnesota, your team every day.
And welcome to another edition of our Locked On Twins postcast. Today is Thursday, September 15th. I'm the host of Locked On Twins, Nash Walker, here with writer and reporter at Access Twins, Mr. Brandon Warren. Before we get started, the NFL, I don't know if you know, but the NFL has started. College football has started, and the World Series, the postseason in baseball right around the corner. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your pro and college football betting needs and sports info this season. Find all the latest football league developments, game matchups, news, and podcasts, including this year's opening week's games. BetOnline is where the game starts. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. Again, BetOnline is where the game starts. Brandon, good win for the Twins. They take care of business. They sweep the Royals. What do you think?
I have just been handed this urgent and horrifying newsletter. Your Kansas City Royals have been eliminated from playoff contention.
Oh, no, I didn't know.
Tough scene, right?
Man.
Yeah. Same old story. Twins score early, can't do anything late. And it felt like the later the game went on, the more we're just kind of itching for need that one more run, need that one more run, need that one more run. And fortunately, it didn't blow up on them in the ninth, although Jhoan Durán made it interesting. And hey, if the Twins lose that one, a lot of people jump off the bandwagon, and justifiably so. But yeah, good win.
Kyle says this Durán guy seems to be pretty decent, and he is absolutely one of the best storylines of the season. Brandon, I want to ask you, because I think this should be an ongoing conversation, whether he should be getting, and I know this has been a debate on Twitter, it's been a debate, we've talked about it, but part of me thinks they should use Durán like Cleveland uses Clase, and maybe they should just use Jorge Lopez as a setup guy. Maybe use him as a secondary setup guy until he starts having cleaner innings, and maybe you start to co-close with him and Durán. But I don't know. What do you think about that? Because I know they love to move him around, Durán, and use him in the biggest spots, and I love that. I just wonder if you could use Lopez in some of those spots, and it's basically the same impact as using him in the ninth inning.
I mean, both strategies can work. The Twins, back when you were just a wee tot, used to do the whole J.C. Romero, Juan Rincon to Joe Nathan thing, and that works for some teams too. And the fact that it's working for Cleveland, I mean, Clase is amazing, and he's got a pretty good crew in front of him. And if you put Durán on the back in the ninth, the crew in front of him is still fairly strong. I like Michael Fulmer more than most. Caleb Thielbar's solid, and Lopez, and the bullpen has enough quality arms right now, which seems like it's hard to believe after about a month and a half ago when we'd be just screaming for these guys to be on the team right now. So I don't necessarily disagree that it could work, but from an analytical standpoint, and again, I'm using that buzzword, I want just take innings, take the inning count out of the equation. Late in the game, when I'm facing 3-4-5, whether that's 3-4-5 for Detroit, 3-4-5 for the Yankees as they're presently constructed, or 3-4-5 for the Houston Astros, I want my best guy facing them. Now, if you want to go the traditional route, that's okay. But then that means you better be okay with Durán facing 8-9-1, Miles Straw, Austin Hedges, and whoever's batting leadoff for Cleveland, while Michael Fulmer is getting Jose Ramirez and Josh Naylor. So for me, I take innings out of the calculus. Late in the game, I want my best guy facing my best pitchers. And I say that as an analytics thing, but honestly, between you and me, just two guys talking, doesn't that make sense?
It does. It definitely makes sense, and I can see it both ways. And I think, if the Twins had a premier setup guy like Cleveland does in Trevor Stephan or James Karinchak, it might be a little bit different. I want to talk to Samson says, #extend Correa. This is funny to me, Brandon, because we did see for a long time, and I was included in this, people who were thinking or saying out loud, maybe Carlos Correa, you don't pay him 30, 35 million next year and you spread that money out. And I still think there's a debate for that, but we're seeing why he is a superstar. And we're finally kind of seeing in September a prolonged run of him being a superstar player on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, for sure. And I can't shake this feeling that they're going to come to an extension with him after the season ends. Let Scott Boras get his money. But, you see the thing that I tweeted tonight. Maybe you didn't see it, but there's a video of him and Byron Buxton. And the best way I can say it is having like a fireside chat in the dugout.
I love that.
Got his arm wrapped around him. If I didn't know any better, it kind of looks like Buxton's got his arm up too. They look inseparable, man. I don't know if I remember the last time Twins players had a bromance like this. It was probably Joe Mauer and Justin Morneau posing in their shared living room back in like 2007 or 2006. So I don't know, man. I think Correa is here for the long haul. I certainly hope he is. Yeah, get it done, guys. Let's go.
So Bryce is asking the golden question everybody's thinking about. How much are you guys allowing yourselves to believe that the Twins can still make a run? Well, Brandon and we've been pretty vocal about it this week. Like at minimum, you needed to sweep Kansas City. Check those boxes. The next box you need to check is minimum, and I think you were on board, and correct me if you feel differently, is 4 out of 5 in Cleveland. Got to win 4 out of 5 in Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, if they win 3, it's not over, but it's much, 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 much more difficult. And, it was actually funny. I was watching Parks and Rec the other day, and Ron talks about getting married again. He said, if you don't believe in love, what's the point of it all? If you don't believe that the Twins can still do this, why are you still watching? I mean, some of us watch because we get paid. Some of us watch because it's just the game that we were born to watch. But being in the run, no matter how far out it feels like, how faint that flicker of a light bulb is why you keep watching at this point in the season. So, yeah. Do I have big hopes that they're going to rip off a stretch that allows them to win 85 games by going, let's see, what's that, 14-7 or 14-5 the rest of the way? I don't know that I see that, or 13-5 the rest of the way, 12-5, whatever. Math is bad right now. Sorry. I don't know if I see that, but you know what? Crazier things have happened. They finished the 2009 season 16-4, if I remember correctly. So let it ride, guys. Let it ride.
Kyle also says, I think they almost have to win all 5 because they would lose the tiebreaker. I'm not getting like crazy. I think winning all 5 is out of the picture. I mean, that would be amazing, but I think 4 out of 5 is still very hard to attain, but it seems much easier than all 5. So Josiah asks, do you guys think Matt Wallner gets called up this year at all? What's your take on this, Brandon?
I had somebody ask me that today too. Is there any truth to the rumor? I'm like, nah. Rumors don't come out before a guy plays another game at AAA. If there's any reason to think he's coming up, he probably wouldn't have been in the lineup tonight. By the way, Trevor Larnach in the lineup at AAA St. Paul tonight. I believe Jeffers will be tomorrow. So a couple guys making some progress. But where was I on that one? Oh, yeah, Wallner. I don't know, man. Again, the situation is fluid. I think with Wallner, it's Jake Cave has just been so bad. I mean, just so bad that I would justify it that way. I just don't think the Twins will.
There you go, Josiah. So
we love Josiah.
It doesn't seem so right now. But let's talk about Larnach and Jeffers starting their rehab assignments. And it feels like, I don't even want to say that Polanco should be back, but he should be back this weekend. And then Bailey Ober also returning this weekend, I think is slated to pitch one of the doubleheader games on Saturday. So they're getting some reinforcements here. And is it too little, too late? Probably, but it doesn't hurt.
To that end, too, adding Larnach probably complicates adding anybody who's not on the 40-man roster right now, because they're going to have to reinstate guys off the 60, add them to the 40, and DFA some guys. And that was the primary reason that they outrighted or tried to outright. We'll see what happens with Randy Dobnak. So it's, to me, not very likely that Wallner comes up. Would I like to see it? Yes. Do I think there's a chance he could be the next Adam Dunn? Yes. Do I also think he could be dollar store Joey Gallo? Sure. But there's a wide range of outcomes that I'm not really forcing my hand with him in this last couple weeks.
I agree. There is a wide range of outcomes with him, like almost wider than someone like Austin Martin in my mind. Yep. Yeah. I just think with the strikeout rate, it's just, he's the type of guy to me, I would hesitate to bring up if you're still at least a little bit in the race, because I feel he's the type of guy who's going to take a Miranda like period. And maybe not, I could be wrong on that, but I feel that he's the type of player where he's going to have to adjust, and you want to give him enough runway to do so.
Or you catch lightning in a bottle. It can go either way, I think.
Yeah.
But the problem is can you afford the downside of that while praying for the upside? Because I'm sure the upside's about 20% and the downside's about 80, just based on the swing and miss in his game and the lack of polish with how fast he's been moved through the system. So yeah, lightning in the bottle is cool when it works, and when it doesn't, that leaves egg on your face. So I don't see it happening.
5-game series, and this is interesting how this lines up. It's not always about the pitching matchups, but they're going to see Mackenzie Bieber in games 1 and 2. At least they got to win one of those. If they won both of those, I think they're going to be in a good spot to win 4 out of 5, because then they'll get Cody Morris and Connor Pilkington, and they'll get Cal Quantrill on Monday, but that's Sonny Gray on Monday as well. So I think if they could find a way to beat Mackenzie and Bieber, this is the spot they're in, though. Their backs are against the wall. You need to beat some really good starters, but if they do that, Brandon, I think they're going to be in a much better spot to take then 2 of the next 3 and win 4 of these.
For sure, and they've beaten good starters this year at times, and they've let bad starters beat them. There's really no rhyme or reason to how this team has played. So let me just go on record as saying they'll probably win 4 of 5, make people believe again, and make whatever happens that much more interesting, whether it's a good thing or bad thing. This is Minnesota sports after all, so I think we kind of have a feeling of where it might go. But again, if you can't allow yourself to wish or hope, why are you even watching sports in the first place?
It's all about the hope. It's all about the hope. 5 against Cleveland, 6 against the White Sox, 3 against Detroit, 3 against Kansas City, 3 against the Angels. So
make it happen.
That's all they got left, and we're going to be here. Thanks, everybody. Josiah, always thank you. Kyle, thank you. I want to talk to Samson. Thank you. And I wanted to put Josiah. It says, you the man, Brandon. And I agree. Brandon is. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you. And this is going to be a fun weekend. And if the Twins, can get hot right here and have a great weekend, they're going to be right back in this thing, as crazy as that sounds. So we'll be here. Thank you guys so much. And we'll see you soon. Thanks, Brandon.